schedule today. Yesterday, we have completed up to the site planning and layout, up to some extent the safe access and the good housekeeping also completed. We will go to that slide and will explain continuously. Access and the site planning and layout is completed. Safe access. Yesterday we have discussed about the tidy and clutter and proper storage materials. This is the article safe access and good housekeeping construction. Regular cleanup is the one of the uh, key aspects and all. Another thing is, marked hazards, proper lighting, personal protective equipment, site inspections, training and awareness, and in continuation with the benefits where we will continue next. Reduced accidents, improved worker productivity, and enhanced is comes under the benefit of the safe access and the good housekeeping. For example, if we take the regular cleanup, frequently removal of waste, as we discussed about the tidy and clutter. Clutter means unwanted, what is called materials, zigzag materials are there, where they here and there will be distributed due to the previous climate conditions and all, due to rain and all. That clutter becomes tidy, means arranged neatly in order. That we have to see that regular cleanup is very important. The marked hazards also very, very important. Yesterday I told this for regular cleanup, there is a dedicated team is to be necessary to adapt by the top management or the contractor. In the contract terms also conditions, they have to mention the team which is dedicated to removal of the waste, scrap materials and spills to prevent this. They are dedicated to that only. Marked hazards because there are clearly identify in the poster through posters and these are the potential hazards, uneven surfaces, open excavations and vertical wires, approach to signages and barriers. Before approaching the signage and barriers and electrical cable box and open excavation, we have to give a caution to the people who are working there or who are having the pedestrians uh, for the marked hazard, so that they will be taken care of before that there is a potential hazard is there. Like this, proper lighting is also very important because as I told, there are some floors are there, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 6, 7 floors are there. In the 7th, 6th or 7th floors, above the first floors, above the second floors and all, the sunlight is not reaching directly to the all the four sides of the that floor. Therefore, the particular lighting is very ensuring that adequate ensuring the adequate lighting at all areas, especially during the low light conditions. For example, there is a rain conditions is there. Before that, there is a the clouds will be uh, 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 gathered and see that the temperature light will be less as per atmosphere temperature. At that instant, the lighting should be visible for the to prevent accidents is very to prevent accidents is very essential for the proper lighting. Personal protective equipment is not supposed to be always remembering, but we have to enforce the people in the normally various attitude of the people in the construction side of different contractors, having the fabricators, welders, cutters, fitters, and helpers, classes, various attitude persons are there. Always they'll see that they are shortcutting or the tampering the PPE, but the supervisor, respective supervisor has to enforce the workforce and see that they use appropriate PPE like safety boots, gloves, hard hats, and high visibility vests, and to protect workers from the potential injuries. Because we are not supposed the safety supervisor need not feel any ambiguity or any the what we call agitation to tell them. We have to because there is a contractor. He's not a permanent employee to see that everything happens in the. But he's a contractor. They have to have some fear is there on the top management supervisors. That's why we have to enforce them to use the PPE without fail, and see that the respective supervisors, respective safety stewards, respective first aiders, respective the ERT members, like the emergency response team members, site supervisors, site in charges, we have to see that they have to enforce to use the appropriate PPE. Daily, normally 11:30 to 12:30, they have a meeting with the safety head. If there are anomalies they have observed during their visit, top management visit, they will bang that gentleman because you are not observed this. I'm very sorry. Next time it won't be repeated like this. We have to give. They have to give some warnings also to the safety stewards people by the top management. Even though it is a permanent worker or the contract workman, they have to have a no feeling of hesitation to do that. Site inspections also regularly conduct site inspections dedicatedly, and we have to see that religiously we have to do, not like a namesake. They have to construct what is called this construction to identify the address potential safety hazard related to access and housekeeping, because these two are very, very important to prevent accidents if we there to avoid what is called a safe access and the good housekeeping. Definitely, if they succeeded in these two, definitely the respective hazards will be less. There is no doubt in that. Apart from the planning and layout is different, but safe access and good housekeeping is almost a vital role for the workers who are working in the construction phase. Training and awareness also every day. Job safety talk is there. Every 2 minutes, there is a toolbox talk, job safety talk, job safety analysis. Like this, they have to have a every day, irrespective of the workers, like means excavation, welding, uh, grinding. Like this, all functions which are what is called in function in process in the construction site to give the toolbox talk without fail. And see that at 2 minutes, that means 20, maximum 10 minutes, the toolbox talks will be there for every day. Even at the end of the day also, they have to see that all uh, the apparatus in place, and they see that the site will be no debris, no uneven what is called things before tomorrow, next day morning coming by the workforce. Reduced accidents, that is benefits of good housekeeping and safe access, as I told. Reduced accidents, improved worker productivity, and enhanced morale. Because why the reduced dependency? Normal. Definitely the team, which is what is called having the dedicated team, regular cleanup, that will be taken care by them. Definitely the accidents rate will be less. There's no doubt in that. When compared to this, definitely the worker productivity is also improved, because if there is no disturbance, if there is no obstruction with the site construction place or the tools and tackles or the equipments and all, definitely worker will be concentrate on the work itself and see that the worker will be completed within a time. That's why improved worker productivity with respect to the safe access and the good housekeeping part of the construction. And this is also one of the important point, enhanced morale. Okay, normally some of the supervisors, I'm very sorry to tell you, some of the supervisors, what I've seen in the construction phase, they are not allowed to talk also, because there is a contract members, they are new to this place, the language problem is there, but we have to see that regional language, the convenient regional language by them, as well as the SOPs, and we have to see that they have to have a clear approach to you by telling the various gaps if they found in a work spot. If you are not giving a chance to talk by the workforce, definitely some of the gaps which you are not observed by the safety steward people, that will be consequences will be bad. That's why a clean and well maintained site can contribute to positive worker morale and safety culture. We have to see that all the workers to positive mind, and we have to allow them to talk. We are allow them to express their doubts, express their anomalies, express their individual thoughts, and express their what is called this land problems and all. We have to accept. Second one is second, next to this 10 construction safety rules, but it is not limited to these rules. These are the some of the things which we have to see this. Always wear PPE, be mindful and follow signs, provide clear instructions, keep the construction site tidy. That means very clear and ordered way to arrange all the tools and tackles and the toolbox, as well as this equipment set up in the uh, rest position and all. Organize and store tools properly. Use the right equipment for each task. Prepare an emergency response plan. Set up safety guards and inspect and set up the safeguards and inspect tools and equipment regularly. Report issues immediately. Where this is the one of the important point. We need not repeat after this. But be mindful and follow signs means we have to see that they follow signs of the safety postures and all, and see that the workforce should follow without having any ambiguity, without having agitation or ambiguity or any station. Provide a clear instruction. The supervisor or the top management should be given a clear instructions without having any communication ambiguity, communication gaps in the implementation of the SOP, implementation of the safety practices, and implementation of the various good management practices given by the top management. There is no ambiguity in this. Clear instructions should be followed up. If any doubt is there, they have to clear immediately by the top management to the bottom management. Organize and store tools properly. Like this, I told, it should be tidy. It should be not in a clutter way. It should be ordered, easily identified before closing every day. That all the tools and tackles should be cleaned perfectly with cotton waste, having no contamination with grease and oils and all. They have to place in respective places. Along with that also, the equipment used after the usage of the equipment services, and then they have to take the rest or take the halt positions at the designated places only. Here and there, they cannot, what is called, of their interest, they cannot stop their equipments. Use the right equipment for each task. Definitely, if they having the D-stack or stack, they only pour. We have to see that the prepare emergency response plan and right equipment. We have to see that it should be used, and set up safety safeguards and the inspect tools and equipment regularly. Report issues immediately. Any issues are there, particularly immediately they have to bring to the notice of the top management without waiting for the meeting to be held. That's why these are not limited to these rules, but in your experience, any things are there, they have to we have to implement in the construction site also. Safety signs and equipment are important for construction safety, including signs that prohibit certain actions, indicate hazards, and communicate safety requirement. Because the science itself is giving some alarm to the people not to follow, or we have to follow this only like this. They have to give alarm by the safety signs and all these things. In the equipment also, we have to write posters. We have to see that we have to display the posters also. And science is important. Provision of the science and the ground hazard science, admittance science, personal protective equipment also is very important to see that it should be placed without having any ambiguity with respect to the science and indication, because it is already over the coming to this safe acts and good housekeeping, and coming to this missionary science and indication. These are the some rules we have to follow. Science is very, very important. We have to give the consequence also in the posters we have to give with the ergonomic symbols and all these things. While the people are taking weights or manually and or equipment or machine wise, they have to see that by seeing that posters and all. Definitely with the science, they have to guide and they have to alarm given to them and see that there will not be any tampering or shortcuts. Science and indication continuation is apart from the safety science and equipment. These are the science. With respect to the equipment, safety elements, hearing protection, these are the two important equipment. Why you are telling equipment? Because a lot of sounds are there in the construction side with respect to the grinding, with respect to the welding, with respect to the movement of the vehicles, with respect to the various fabrication conditions and all, or with respect to the loading, unloading of the iron from the coming from the outside is also very, very important also. That's why the safety helmets is important. Protect the head from injury, falling objectives, collapsing structures, and protruding extensions means it should not be fall on the any above floors helmets or elbow floors items on the ground floor employees and all this. Hearing protection is also important. Protect the ears from hearing loss and other hearing related issues caused by loud machinery and tolls also. The machine itself, in the equipment itself, we have to display the sound decibels. The above the 90, the 75 decibels is there. Use the earmuffs like this. They have to give a cautions to the workforce. Therefore, they have to definitely alarm will be coming for those people, and they have a pulse. They have what is ESS we have to use like this. Some feeling has to come by seeing the equipment also, and safety practices also. The training, safety messages, and avoiding hand arm vibration syndrome. This is very important. We will discuss in detail also in the next coming slides, because this is new technology. We have to see that the training means employees who work at heights that means above 2.5 meters. They need suitable training in working on different pieces of the equipment. Safety messages also we have to see that they have to improve by keeping study of the mind. Mind will be definitely will be positively will be taken care of because of safety messages. The safety signs and equipment are crucial for ensuring the safety of workers and public on construction sites also, because the safety measures will be definitely helpful for the workforce. We are not supposed to tampering. We are not supposed to do any shortcut methods like this. Though the work delay in time, but they are not supposed to shortcut that like that. We have to encourage the workforce by the safety stewards as well as the top management who are working in the construction site. Prolonged exposure, vibrating tools and machinery can lead to hand arm vibration syndrome. That means HAVS. That means there is a continuous sound is there already told in the CPCB as well as the APCB as well as the various state pollution control board already informed that the person who is working in the site, they are not exposed to the beyond 75 decibels about 3 hours continuously. That means immediately, if that condition is there, we have to see that in construction, the operator construction room should be made with the glasses, and see that operator should be worked from the classroom itself, because the continuous sounds are there without having any hampering the what we call this eardrum. We have to see that the glass room will be helpful for those people, even though they're using the earmuffs, the sound will not be controlled. That is why you have to construct the glass room for such areas. As per the CPCB, beyond 3 hours, above 75 decibels will not be exposed to the continuously by the any workforce. Therefore, it will be damage to the eardrum. That's why we have to see. That's why some discussion we are discussing here is this to you know that, but I want to educate myself. The avoiding and arm vibration syndrome. That means where the prolonged exposure to vibrating tools and machinery, continuous fabrication is there. They have to hammering continuously by removing the bends and all plates, as well as the pipes and all. Continuous sound will be there. So avoiding hand arm vibrating vibration syndrome, prolonged exposure to vibrating tools and machine can lead a hand arm vibration syndrome. To avoid such vibration, that means HAVS. To avoid that hand arm vibration, that means HAVS, limit exposure to vibrating tools, maintain good circulation by keeping the warm and dry, use tools correctly, and take regular breaks, and consider using the lower vibration tools and equipment. This is the very important area where we need to, sometimes it is possible to take care of, sometimes it is not possible, but the ultimate, we have to see that that pillow has to give the some regular breaks. That's why I told many times we have to see that situations are there. The person workforce should be rotated, or the give some regular breaks also, so that the eardrums will be saved, or eardrums will be damaged, will be reduced. That's why avoid and HAVS, limit exposure to vibrating tools. We have to limitations will be taken care of. Maintain good circulation by keeping warm and dry air. We have to see that there should not be any relative humidity more in the air, saying that what is called the sound will be stagnated there. That's why you have to see that the warm and dry atmosphere to be created by putting some dryers and all. They see if the condition of the atmosphere is not good, is not encouraging. Use tools correctly. Therefore, we have to telling that people use muffs and all, but simply they are neglecting. But we have to force them to use. Take regular breaks. They definitely they'll follow this without what is called having any station. That's why you have to give the regular breaks, and consider using lower vibration tool equipment. That means here there is a shock absorption is there. There is a hand tools having the rubber items, where the sound will be absorbed by the rubber items, rubber handle and all, and definitely it will be sound will be outcoming is less. That's why the meaning of the consider the using the lower vibration tools or equipment. This is the meaning involved. Here is a more detailed explanation of how to prevent HAVS. That means this is hand arm vibration syndrome. Reduce duration, implement task rotation, use lower vibration tools, use devices and grip forces, and These are the some of the things to be taken care of with respect to the limit exposure to vibration. Second one is maintain good circulation. Third one is proper tool usage and the regular break and medical surveillance will be there. And five is the other consideration. These five are very important with respect to the more related explanation how to prevent the HIVs also. Reduced duration, we have to see that there should be regulated. That means regular breaks to be given, and we have to see that duration will be reduced where the high sound will be there in the work site. Implement task rotation. We have to see that people have to rotate by themselves for the work. Therefore, the exposure to that sound levels will be limited by the workforce. If you rotate the people or give some breaks and all, depending upon the convenient, we have to follow. Use lower vibration tools, already told, where the shock absorbers is there. When possible, if necessary, we have to use what is called rubber items and see that there should be maximum extent possible. We have to use use lower vibration tools. Therefore, you have to see that. For example, if you see the MS plate is there, if you provide the bottom of the plate some gap and the ground gap is there, if you hammer it, lot of sound will come. If you remove the basement or any stone to the between the ground and the MS plate, if you hammering also, the sound will be absorbed by the earth will be more than coming outside. So these are the small techniques where we need to apply where the possibility is there. Use devices to reduce the grip force also important. Use a very devices. Some of the hammers they have a whether the handle is not good or by the head is not good, either of the way. And see that they have to use the suspension systems and see that there should not be any that tampering of the equipments or unusual what is called things to be taken care of. Therefore, we have to see that use device to reduce the grip and see that there should not be any should not be seen the exposure to the long term vibrations by adapting this. Yes. Sorry. Maintain good circulation, because already I told in this, if you circulate the air or the dust circulated or disseminated by the workforce or disseminated by the work activities, you have to see that maintain good circulation. That should be very dust, any exposure is there, emission levels is there, definitely they have to by putting some exhaust fans by small temporary exhaust ducts to see that always the temperature is warm and not to be relative humidity will be more in the water vapor. That's why we have to see that cold temperature can worsen. That means HVAC symptoms. That's why so ensure hands are kept warm and dry. Therefore, we have to see that atmosphere also, the hands also, it should not be wet by giving some heavy sound and all. Wear gloves is also important, because if you wear the gloves, definitely vibration will be less to your hand, your force hands. Definitely, though sound comes, but outside to the people through the ears, but hand will not be affected. Only we have to see that that ear, what we call this, the eardrum should not be any impacted. And see that the gloves will be help to reduce the impact of vibration and keep the hands warm. That is the intention of this. Improved circulation also is important, because we could not have any relative humidity is more, as I told, stay warm, avoid smoking,
and exercise or um, massage their fingers and the hands and the arms during the breaks, because during the break where the winter seasons are there, definitely the temperature will not be definitely encourage you. While taking the break by the employees, we have to suggest them to we have to rub the hands so that they stay warm. It will be helpful for them to continue the work after the break also. And stay hydrated. That means drinking enough water can help improve circulation, because the dehydration will not be taken care of. We have to see that it should be taken care of all the sufficient water to take by the workforce if they are working exposure outside. Proper tool usage and maintenance. These are the very important with respect to the HAVS, that means syndrome. Use tools correctly, follow manufacturer's instructions, and use the right tool for the job. Maintain tools regularly. You have to see that regularly preventive maintenance, and you have to see that all in good conditions. You have to have no contaminated with the grease and oil, and also all the tools. And that's why before closing the work, you have to see that the team has to work, see that the employees, see that the tools will be in place with a need for the tomorrow's work. They hold tools loosely, because maintain a loose but secure grip and vibrating tools, and grip on vibrate, because we have to show that we are not supposed to any difficult to remove that what we call in the from the board the tool and all. Maintain a loose but secure a grip on vibrating tools also is important. These are the proper tool usage of the maintenance. Coming to the regular breaks and the medical surveillance is important. By giving some regular breaks at that time also, where the male nurse and female nurse, if the workers females are there, definitely the female nurse will be definitely placed in OHC. The female workers are not there, nobody will point out about the female workman, but male nurse will be completely available in the OHC. But if the normally in the site female workers are also there, therefore the organizations has to force to use the female nurse in the OSC center also. During the breaks also, not only hands were warm and all, they have to see that conditions of that fellows, see the conditions of the that employees before resuming their work site, and see that they will be very healthy and hygiene, and also have some encouragement to return the work without any hampering the working schedules. That's why during the breaks also, all the OHC people or the ERT members or the safety stewards as well as the first aid members has to observe the people and inquire them if any response or any requirement is there for them. Definitely, we need to provide them and see that morale will be increases by the workforce by asking the definitely the some goodness for the health and all these things during the breakdown. Medical surveillance, that's what medical surveillance regularly check up for symptoms among the employees who use vibrating tools as a part of medical surveillance system, because you have to see always the eardrum test will be taken care by those who are exposed to the sound. Definitely, they have to conduct the what we call this uh, 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 tone system and all this thing. That is what we call the nervous condition system, NTS we can say, nervous testing condition system. That is called NTCS or NTPS, or we can say nervous condition testing system. You have to see that they have to they are well within the limits of the eardrums and all. You have to see that by doing the medical surveillance also. Here, a more detailed explanation, continuation of this other consideration apart from this four.
compared to this limit exposure to vibration, maintain good circulation and proper tools and usage maintenance and regular breaks, medical services, and the other, apart from all these four, smoking is other consideration. Smoking can negatively impact circulation, so avoid or limit smoking, because we have to see that there is a smoking zones will be provided by the construction management in respect to time and the zones also. Not all the time they are allowed to smoke also. You have to see that there is a smoking zones is there. During work time, there is a breakdown times only they have to see that they have to taken care of. That will be followed religiously without having any hesitation. Though other consideration is this is very important, because this will give the atmosphere will also spoiled. It will not give the any positive note to the atmosphere also. That is why the smoking to be avoided. Stress management in the, we have seen in the Sri City what I told in the Olix factory during the green field and brown field. There completely smoking is stopped. They conduct the meeting with the union leaders and workforce. We are very sorry. There is a 6 months gap is there. That duration is there. In the 8 hours limit, the workforce should not be having allowable any items for smoking in their pockets also. In the during the security itself, it will be covered. It will be recovered. That's why they are agreed. Some people are not agreed by the what we call this the union people, but they give some incentive encouragement to the by keeping the a close follow up with the union leaders and all. Definitely, they will give some encouragement or some support to the top management also. That's why the stress management is also very important. We have to see that because of the stress can exacerbate the FA system, the fellow will be definitely tired and become inconvenienced also. At that time, we cannot force them to continue the work. You have to ask the people take rest, and so that like that we have to encourage that employees to manage stress effectively. This is the very important in the part of the morale of the employees to improve also. That's why it's very important to note these two are, though other consideration is there, definitely it will be helpful for the top management and see that the safety stewards as well as the ERT members and the first aiders and all definitely will follow this by requesting the workforce and all, by instructing the bottom people and all. If you see